Grand rising, grand arrival, grand return, peace and blessings to the righteous and the repentant alike. I am Chief Sophia of the AmaruKhan Band of Indians, and this is our introduction to daylight astrology. In this video, we are going to discuss the astrology wheel. I made reference to this in the Rectified tarot spiral, but I wanted to do a separate video where we talk about how to rectify the astrology wheel itself. Currently, when astrologers read the wheel, they read it in reverse. And the reason they read it in reverse is because they say that we are moving backwards through the zodiac as it relates to one of these large cycles. And while that, in fact, could be true, based on how they do their calculations, we have to look at the way the day works. And we don't move backwards in the day. I'm sorry. It's real simple. The clock goes forward in time, so we should go forward in time. And when you rectify the astrology wheel to put the forward in time houses, the outer houses on the top, it's much easier to actually read the wheel. So right here you can see I have Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo on the top half of the chart, and Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces on the bottom half of the chart. This is intuitive. This is how we would naturally read it. And I also think that the reason why they have it going reverse is so that it could not be intuitive. So if you see something, some things on the top half of your chart, you automatically think, if you're looking at a traditional chart, that those things are supposed to be happening on the outside. Well, in the rectified chart, those things are happening on the inside. It's on the outside, and you know they're happening on the outside. And the stuff that's supposed to be on the inside, you know that it's supposed to be on the inside. So, again, very often, I look at people's charts, and I just, in my mind, I invert it, until I can find some kind of software that will do it like this, because it doesn't make sense. If everything moves clockwise, to have an astrological chart that's supposed to be measuring time moving counterclockwise. It's counter to time. This is not, I don't think this is rocket science, but also want to talk about the rulers of the houses. This is important because the sun and the moon are the focal points, but the moon comes first. The moon, and then the moon, and then the sun, and then Mercury, and then Venus, and then Mars, and then Jupiter, and then Saturn. And we have a double Saturn energy. So when we get to some further points, it'll make sense why Saturn only has such a low value, and the moon and the sun have high values, because Saturn is on this chart twice. So it has a huge slice of energy, and the sun and the moon only have one slice. So they have to be ranked higher in energy value-wise than Saturn, because Saturn has two slices that are together. And if you know anything about how the planets move, especially the sun and Mercury and Venus and Mars, really you don't have more than a 2-sign differential between the sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. Mars is the one that can get like 4 signs away, but really that's unusual. It's usually pretty close to the sun. Venus is very close to the sun. Mercury is very close to the sun. Venus only goes into retrograde I think it's once every 2 years. It's not even very often. So most of the time, Venus and Mercury are hovering near the sun. So if you have energy that's in Saturn 1, Capricorn, then 9 times out of 10, or Saturn 2, Aquarius, 9 times out of 10, you're also going to have Mercury close by, and you're going to have Venus close by, typically. Again, there's lots of other things that happen, but Mercury doesn't get more than a sign away. And you can see from the sun, Mercury is 1 sign away in Virgo on one side, and it's next to the sun in Virgo on the one side of Leo, and it's 1 sign away in Gemini on the other side. This is also how the planets basically operate in the sky. So this is like the traditional rulers. So let's look at the new rulers, because this comes up too sometimes, and you need to like understand the flow of the energy. So in this, the new rulers, you have the moon and the sun. Mercury is on each side. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and so is Libra, but the difference comes in when you get into Aries. So Aries is ruled by Mars, but Pluto rules Scorpio, and Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and Sagittarius is still ruled by Jupiter. And then you have Capricorn, which is Saturn, and you have Aquarius, which is Neptune. And so when you're doing calculations with older energy, you have to remember that you got to use the old rulers, because it's not going to translate with these new rulers. Remember, Pluto, Uranus, Neptune are recent discoveries. They knew Saturn was out there. Saturn was still visible with their satellite, with their little things. I can't remember what they're called. I'm sorry. Telescopes. They could see Saturn. They couldn't see Pluto. You can't see Neptune. You can't see Neptune. You can't see Uranus. You can't see them. So that just makes a difference. And so when you're looking at the traditional rulers, these are the ones that are visible, which is why, again, it makes more sense to. But which ones were which planets? Okay, let me put it this way. Saturn and Jupiter are pretty far away, right? You would need a extended dark sky to be able to see Jupiter and Saturn. And so which areas have the extended dark sky where you would be able to see Jupiter and Saturn? Well, that's Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. That's the reason why these rulers, it has to do with what you can see. And in Leo season, what is the easiest thing to see? The sun. The sun is a huge deal. And in the moon, when you have a full moon in Cancer, or the new moon in Cancer, it is, even though it's a new moon, the sky is still bright because of the way it's not a dark sky. It's a very short sky. So this cycle actually goes with how things are actually visible. So to say that this is why it doesn't make sense to do it counterclockwise. If you have Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo underneath the cycle, underneath like the sky, that's not true. You can see these things out front. As a matter of fact, a lot of times Venus and Mars can be seen in the sky before the sun comes up. As the sun is rising, that's the best time to see them in the sky. Like when Venus is a morning star, when Mars is a morning star, like when Mercury is a morning star. Like this is how the energy actually works. And so I feel like most astrologers are they mean well, but they're just disconnected from this actual what's visible in the sky. So to say the sun is something that's on the inside and put it at the bottom of the chart when you would normally automatically think the top of the chart is on the outside is it's very confusing for people. So we rectified it. And this is how it was rectified. So I hope this video is helpful to people. Shalom, peace and blessings, and we'll see you in the next video.